A woman who died many, many years ago, 4 decades ago, was just identified. And a serial killer had actually, serial killer Henry Lee Lucas in 1984 confessed to killing hundreds of people, including her specifically. So, only 3 of those were confirmed, not her. But finally, with DNA, like the new DNA tech we have now, she was identified. And this was in Elgin, Texas, by the way. So her name is Kathy Ann Smith. She was 22 years old at the time of her murder. They had no leads. They had no idea who she was, literally for 4 decades, except for that one serial killer claiming to have killed her.
Okay, so they found her body and were unable to identify her. And then how did this serial killer claim her? Because, and the reason I'm asking this, okay, is sometimes we don't get all the information at face value, and I've noticed in the past, decades past, there were police that wanted to be able to close cases, and I do think they were doing it for the right reasons, like trying to help families let go and things like that. And I've seen a lot of cases get connected to the wrong people and whatnot. So did this guy tell authorities where the body was or anything like that, or does it even go into that because it's such an older case?
Yeah, it doesn't go into that. It just says that he confessed after he was caught. And that's about it. He just remains a suspect to this day because it wasn't excluded, it wasn't disproved, so they just don't know. But they finally at least know who she is. So she was found in Elgin, Texas when police were just driving by and saw her, from what I can see, on the side of the road, and she was in a white t-shirt and blue jeans, and that's all the information they had.
Okay.
Just
and
a young girl
and found her on the side of the road? That's so strange. Yep. That is so strange.
I know.
Weird. And no one called her in as missing or anything like that? That's so wild. Well,
but she was an adopted kid. It sounds like nobody was looking for her. They said part of the issue was that she was adopted. So it says law enforcement had to get court permission to access the adopted family's information so they could notify both families. But they said they're happy they finally gave closure, so they know what happened to her.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it watching, but, I don't think life ends after our body ends, you know what I mean? So, I think it's good for closure, whether the crime happened 10 years ago, 100 years ago, 500 years ago, you know what I mean? That's still beneficial just because we live in time in this dimension, and I don't want to go too deep into that, but, the next one might not have time, so, it could feel the same as yesterday as the next 100 years, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I believe in life after death, but I at least take comfort in the fact that I know she's at peace and she's not feeling that pain anymore of whatever this person did to her. Last week would have been her 67th birthday.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. That's wild. It's really sad that she didn't have family that came looking for her, though. But, hopefully she lived a good life when she did live, and justice at least,
Yeah, and Henry Lee Lucas is known as the confession killer, and he killed his own mom. That was one of the 3 people he was convicted of, was his own mother. Yeah.
But he confessed to way more.
Like literally over 100.
Yeah. Okay. So names are the worst thing for me, you guys. With the type of ADHD that I have, names are a no-go. I can remember pictures, faces, places, super good. Never forget them. But okay, yeah, there was a documentary made about him that I watched. Okay, yep, I know exactly who it is now. And obviously you guys would have seen the picture here too. I would have had it up already. Yeah, that is wild. That is wild. So,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm happy she was finally identified, though. That was cool to see.
Yeah, yeah.